Wrong weather, isn't it? There's only one thing worse than weather like this, and that's nothing. This weather sucks. Alright, thank you for that, thank you. This guy gets it. This guy's the only person who hates weather like this as much as me. Alright, so I've been doing stand-up for about 6 months now, which sounds good on paper, but it's only been full routines. So on one hand, 6 months, but on the other hand, literally 25 minutes. That's it. It doesn't sound as impressive that way, doesn't it? But when you're an entertainer and a performer like that, and you've been doing it for a long time, you start to pick up on little habits that you have when you're on stage. One thing that I picked up on is I don't really swear a lot during my routines. And not just because I end up filming these and putting them on YouTube, and my cousin, who is in 6th grade, watches them. There's a shout out, by the way, you'll be famous. I consider myself to be kind of PG-13 in that regard, because I consider swearing to be kind of a cheap laugh. I mean, people get away with it and it's fine, and they pull it off, but when it comes to swearing in routines, I just can't get the hang of it. And PG-13, that's the one I'm allowed to have. That's the one. That's it. No more. Another thing that happens when you're an entertainer for an extended period of time is that you get some weird compliments, and you remember the odd ones. Like after my first stand-up routine, I got an odd compliment, and it was the bits that you ad-libbed to respond to certain members of the audience were some of my favorite parts of your routine. And when you're a stand-up comedian, that's kind of a slap in the face. It's a bit like saying, yeah, the stuff that you made up on the spot was better than the stuff that you actually took the time to sit down and craft out into beautiful lyric poetry. It's a real slap in the face. Like, stand-up comedy is the only job where you can say that to someone. That's it. You couldn't do that. It doesn't make sense in any other profession. A baker doesn't make okay cakes their entire life, then one day suddenly drop a tray of ingredients and suddenly create the most delicious cake known to man. It doesn't make sense. Like, if you're a baker and you drop ingredients, you don't get praise, you get a negative mark on your health inspection. Two very different ballparks there. Stand-up comedy is the only job where that's true. You don't go up to a painter and say, hey, remember that time that you accidentally kicked a bucket of paint and it spilled onto a canvas? That was a better work of art than any of your quote-unquote masterpieces. Good job being a painter. Sorry. Yeah. Another thing that happens when you've been a stand-up comedian a long time is that you forget your material less. Oh, yeah. No. Edit this out. Oh, yeah. But I've been like this a lot. Like, for most of my life, the stuff that I've made up on the spot or just rushed is a lot better than the stuff that I've put time and effort into. Like, the amount of times where I've handed off a script to someone for their feedback, and they've said to me, well, this is pretty good for a first draft. And in that situation, you do not have the courage to say, this is my 6th draft. You don't say that. In that situation, you sit down, smile and nod, and let go of any lingering shreds of self-esteem that you may still have. But it's not just performing and entertaining. This goes back to high school. My first assessment for Year 7 Visual Arts is a perfect example of this. It was a quiz about the telephone. The visual arts. Not a painting, not a picture, not a sculpture, not anything. A quiz about the telephone. If you're sitting there at the moment thinking, what's wrong with this picture? You're wrong, because the picture doesn't even exist, because the assessment was a telephonic quiz. The actual question you should be asking yourself is, why was that the assessment? There's only one scenario where that makes sense. Okay, I've got to come up with an assessment for my class to do. But Game of Thrones is about to start. Okay, looking around the room. Telephone, got it. Telephone quiz. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have written quiz. Oh, it's starting. Sorry, pen's already on paper. One white out. I didn't put any effort into doing this assessment task, mainly because they clearly didn't put any effort into preparing it for us. So I figured, you get out what you put in. So I rushed it the night before it was due, and when the marks came back, ended up getting 100%. And that was a terrible example to set right at the beginning of your high school life. Because when you're in high school, you don't ever want to get the message, if you rush your assessments, you'll get good marks. Especially not in year 7. And I guess now I'm Emre. Right, that's all the material I have, but there's a bit of time left, so I'm just going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Thank you so much for watching this. If you like, don't forget to hit the like button down below. If you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe. To you and you, thank you for watching.
Woo!